Howdy folks, Ben Uyama helping you quit porn and masturbation for good. So Chris Rock got the crap slapped out of him by Will Smith. My goodness, like how does that happen? I know you know this, you've probably seen this news. But my question here is what is going on behind closed doors? What is going on in this relationship between Will Smith and his wife Jada, right? Bringing this back to sexual integrity pornography. Now, Jada pretty recently in their marriage had admitted publicly that she had an ongoing addiction to porn, right?
I actually feel like I was using maybe addiction a little lightly, and maybe I will say now that I had an unhealthy relationship to porn at one point in my life where I was trying to practice abstinence. It was actually like feeling like an emptiness. At least you think it is.
Exactly.
But it's actually not.
Hollywood has this tendency to highlight these people that had a porn addiction, like Terry Crews, like Jada Smith. And they kind of highlight them as the weird, strange people that had a porn addiction, and it's become taboo, right?
What do you think about the topics that they tackle, like pornography?
They're doing a lot. They're doing a lot. It's like when I see Jada and Willow and Gammy on the red table, it always makes me nervous, but it makes me proud. They're really redefining how families talk. The kind of things that you can say to and in front of your children and your mother, So it is a really beautiful thing. And I tell Jada all the time, I don't even think she realizes what she's doing for couples in opening up the power of communication and how you can communicate cross-generationally. And I'm very proud, but it definitely makes me nervous when they start talking.
What's really strange to me is that it's not uncommon for people to have a porn addiction. In fact, statistically speaking, almost everybody in Hollywood has or has had an addiction to porn. So why is it that we're highlighting and pinpointing individuals like Terry Crews, like Jada, like Russell Brand, like others who have had an addiction and have talked about it publicly?
There were times I would have 3 jobs at the same time. And she was like, I've got the kids, I'm taking care of the home. All during the success of the career, I've had an addiction to pornography. It was always hidden and secret and this and that, and I never told my wife during our whole marriage. And I finally broke.
Why are we talking about them like the kind of the purple cow or the black sheep in everybody who's not addicted? Well, there's a few reasons, but fundamentally it comes down to shame. And this is what's really important for you guys to consider and think about. It comes down to the shame that in the taboo that's around pornography and porn addiction, even though most people, statistically speaking, struggle with it. In fact, 98% of men and 73% of women in the last 6 months had watched porn. So the vast majority of people have an ongoing compulsive use of pornography, but it's only when people come out in public that we kind of label them as weird, or the addicts, or the people that we label as the porn people, right? But that's not the case at all. Most people do have a compulsive habit. So what's going on here is that because of the shame and taboo is one reason why it's very difficult for people to admit to themselves and that they have an issue. It's very hard for people to admit to themselves that they're part of this group of individuals that have an addiction, right? The other component and the other factor that's contributing to this highlighting and pinpointing is the fact that most people underplay how addicted they are to porn. They think, oh, it's not an issue, oh, it's just occasional. But if you look at the actual definition of what a compulsive habit is, according to every mainstream medical outlet, including Healthline or WebMD, the actual definition they give of a compulsive addiction is very much in line where most people are, in the sense that you can't give it up. You've tried in the past, and you keep going back to the habit. You're losing focus. You're losing energy. You're losing time, and your feeling is really guilty and remorseful and shameful after indulging in the behavior. So by those definitions, almost everybody that has a porn habit is addicted and has developed a compulsive habit because people have very little control over themselves. And the counter argument that a lot of people have when I talk about porn and masturbation, especially in the comments, is, well, I don't have a compulsive addiction, or it's just once in a while. And then I ask this question, okay, so if I asked you to give it up for 90 days or 365 days, could you do it? And they go, well, I could if I wanted to. I could if I wanted to do it. I don't want to because it brings me benefit. It brings me relaxation and all that. And then I go, well, it sounds a lot like justification, doesn't it? It sounds a lot like you've made reasons for why you require pornography in order to live your life, in order to soothe whatever soothing mechanism you've developed in your life, whatever coping mechanism that you've developed to alleviate negative emotions or stress, anxiety, boredom, depression, desensitization in general, to the point that you require this on a regular basis or on a very frequent basis in order to just live your life. They're all justifications to keep the habit with you as long as possible. I can ask you the same thing. What's wrong with smoking just once in a while, just lightly smoking? Well, the answer is the same. We know from the studies that a little porn always leads to more porn. A little masturbation always escalates to more masturbation, watching porn, and developing a severe addiction. So it's not the case that people are just masturbating once in a while for the sake of releasing. No, 75% of people are masturbating in accordance to watching pornography, and in turn are developing a compulsive behavior over a long period of time. And that's exactly what people who are addicts have developed, which is most people, including Jada, including Terry Crews, including Russell Brand, or any of the brave people that have come out and expressed how destructive porn has been in their life. So God bless them. I think it's incredible work. So this message is to really help you guys alleviate this shame and guilt that you feel, because you should not feel shameful for getting better with your porn habit. You should not be ashamed of trying to do something about this. In fact, you should be proud that you are of the very small percentage of people that understand the impact on your life and want to do something better about it and want to get serious about bidding this thing. So if that's you, if you want to get rid of this shame thing and actually do this thing of quitting porn, you can check out our free training, the step-by-step process for how to quit porn at benuyama.com. Check it out there. You can also consider joining our group Accountability, where you'll have mentoring with me in a group setting and just have a lot of brotherly love there. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Revealing this potentially embarrassing information about yourself, is this your atonement?
But you got to know, I wrote a book in 2014 called Manhood that pretty much talked about all that stuff.
Right.
And, addiction to pornography and all the stuff I'd done. And
you loved pornography. You miss it?
Not anymore. There were times when I did.
I was just kidding.
I'm good now, you know what I mean? But I have to tell you this, too. With porn and alcohol and different things like that, people think it's a willpower issue. But it's not. It's literally a lack of information issue. Once you know what it does, once you really realize...
Your brain, you mean?
Exactly. Yeah. Once you start to understand, then it's like, oh, man, you know what? Because the trick is you think it's great. And everything works for you until it doesn't.
Talking about pornography, which is one of the subjects that you discussed.
Yes.
And I would imagine that, not only uncomfortable for him, but probably uncomfortable for you, too.
Yes.
Yes.
I must say that particular show was a TMI moment.
Whose idea was it to cover that subject?
It was a group decision.
It was.
It was, because there were a lot of women, part of our production team, and a lot of friends of ours that have had problems with their mates and their relationships because of pornography.
I see.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
So we decided to tackle that issue.